Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we'll be talking about Bitcoin, crypto, and some stocks, and the nice little bounce back that we got earlier today. It was looking pretty bloody going into the beginning of Monday morning here, where Bitcoin dropped down as low as about like $74,000, but right now Bitcoin is currently trading at $79,700. Nice little healthy bounce back, and believe it or not, Bitcoin is actually up for the day, up 1.69%. Okay, some of these other cryptos here, okay, like Solana is actually up today, Sui's up today, and yeah, Ethereum is the only one that looks like it's down. XRP is also up a little bit compared to where they closed out last night around 8 p.m. East Coast time is when these daily candles close here. But yeah, we're gonna be looking at Bitcoin. We're gonna be looking at the news actually. Let's start off with the news. Because we had like a little fake out that kind of like threw everybody out for a curveball here. Let's take a look at what the news has to say here. You can see that this is from the Associated Press. There was a bogus report on tariff pause, okay, that briefly lifted the markets before White House decided to deny it. It goes on here to say that a bogus rumor that President Donald Trump was considering a pause in tariffs briefly lifted markets Monday before the White House shot down the unfounded reports. The confusion, which was amplified on social media and by some traditional media outlets, lasted less than a half an hour, but reflected a jittery mood on Wall Street as stocks plunged over worries that Trump's tariffs could torpedo the global economy. The origin of the false report was unclear, but appeared to be a misinterpretation of comments made by Kevin Hassett, director of the White House National Economic Council, during a Fox News interview earlier Monday morning. Asked whether Trump would consider a 90-day tariff pause, suggested by a prominent hedge fund manager, Hassett said, "I think the president is going to decide what the president is going to decide." Okay, nearly 2 hours later, multiple user accounts on social media platform X posted identical messages claiming that Hassett said that Trump is considering a pause for all countries except China. Stock traders and some news outlets picked up the story, and the market skyrocketed on the hint of good news. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, they briefly passed a morning loss of 1,700 points, shot up more than 800 points, and then went back to a loss of 600 points. The S&P 500 likewise made sudden up and down lurching movements. The White House initially appeared as confused as everyone else, but after 20 minutes, a government account rejected the report as fake news. Okay, Donald Trump is not doing a pause on tariffs. All right. I also want to show this little clip from a little clip here from the news media here. This is from CNN, and this guy briefly, explained what happened earlier today with the markets. So let me go ahead and turn the music down here real quick, and we'll look at what this clip has to say here. Okay.
Goldman and others now say it's up to 60%. By the way, can we go back to the Dow Jones actual chart of the day, please? Just go back to that moment. Now, you see that green spike? That is where there was a rumor that the administration was going to pause by 90 days the tariffs. Well, it was just a rumor, and the market found it was a rumor and then promptly turned in the absolute opposite direction. But now let's forget rumors. Now we have a fact. Donald Trump says he's going to increase by 50% the tariffs on China tomorrow because they've had the temerity to retaliate with the 34% tit for tat that they did. So you want a trade war? This is what it looks like. And you remember Scott Bessent's words, there doesn't have to be a recession. By the way, all the rest, Howard Lutnick's comments, the economic advisor's comments, Navarro's comments, that's all just hyperbole. That's all just basically, it's going to be great, it's going to be marvelous, it's going to be fantastic, it's going to be wonderful, it's going to boom, but this is the reality. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, at some point, there is so much disruption that the market simply can't take it. And jobs go, investment stops, the recession happens.
All right. So, basically saying that not only did Trump not reduce tariffs, but he actually not only is he not putting a pause on tariffs, but he's actually going to put more tariffs on China on Wednesday, and yet the markets are still rallying. Bitcoin's going up right now. This could be considered a dead cat bounce of a relief rally. Okay. Who knows why some people were spreading that news and rumors. There might have been some people who were looking for any bit of good news, and it just turned into something that was not really. But it seems like it didn't really matter to the markets here because Bitcoin is currently at 79,000, almost about to hit $80,000 right now. And the stock market was down, but not as much as it could have been. The S&P 500, right? S&P 500 is down just under 1%, not even. It's like 0.23% on the S&P 500. Nasdaq actually finished in the green. People were talking about like a Black Monday possibly for today, and it looked like it was going to be a Black Monday, but wow, fake news and fake rumors saved the market as far as the eye can see right here. And if you're thinking about shorting the market, yeah, going back to Bitcoin here, right? I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin currently at $79,800. It's tough to short the market. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart here. Okay, every candle here represents 5 minutes. Okay, I would not actually short the market until we get below this red line, the 200-day moving average on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, once you get below the red line on the 200 moving average, then you can short the market. But looking at the 5-minute time frame, as long as you're above that red line, the 200 moving average, you're gonna be going up for the most part. Okay, we gotta see the price actually start coming back down, go through the moving averages here. Let me just zoom in here for my TikTok guys here. But you need to start losing the 21 EMA, then you need to lose the 50, the 100, and the 200, and price needs to come down. Now it looks like, right, just looking at the 5-minute time frame here, you are high on the RSI right now. See that RSI level is actually close to 70 right now. You're at 69.5 on the RSI on the 5-minute time frame. If you feel like shorting the market, then yeah, I mean you could try your luck right here, okay? But you really need to be looking at the higher time frames as well to justify whether or not you should be entering a short, okay, on this market. All right. We'll look at the 15-minute time frame, okay? Looking at the 15-minute time frame on Bitcoin, right? We're still looking at Bitcoin 79,000, and it's climbing as I'm doing this live stream right here, okay? You might get a rejection off that 200 MA, okay? The 200, that red line is the 200 MA, and that one line is currently sitting at, I gotta adjust this here a little bit, but you're $80,000. When we hit $80,000, that might actually be the level where we get a rejection. Not only is it a psychological number, but it also where the 200 moving average is currently sitting at. Looking at the 15-minute time frame here, the 200 moving average is sitting at $80,000. And also you have the RSI kind of high right now at 65. So yeah, I would just wait a little bit longer. You might get a rejection immediately, a reaction and a rejection off that 200-minute. The 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame here. When it does come down, it might come down and get some support off the white line here for my day traders here. But yeah, you would want to possibly consider $80,000 as the beginning of if you're trying to short this market, right? Right now we're kind of making a bear flag, okay? If I zoom out to the 1-hour time frame, you kind of see the bear flag start to form here. Let me just draw out the flag for you guys to see that. Okay, so we dropped down sharply, okay? and we're kind of making almost like a V-shaped recovery as we go up to higher prices here. Okay. But usually when you recover this fast, you can also drop down pretty fast as well. We're gonna just like pretend like this wick didn't happen, and we're just gonna measure this as the flag here. And if we continue on the bear flag here to lower prices, you just take that measured move here, put it to where we could possibly break out from like $80,000 here, okay? Because we're currently at almost $80,000 on Bitcoin. And it has the measured move saying that, you know, we could see Bitcoin come right down to $70,000 as we were expecting to happen later on this week. If we lose $80,000 on Bitcoin, I'm expecting 70,000 Bitcoin to be coming into play. More specifically, looking at the 3-day time frame here, I'm expecting Bitcoin to actually come down to this blue line here, okay? That blue line is the 100 moving average, and the 100 moving average is saying that Bitcoin could come down to $72,500. Now, this is a high time frame, so it has a lot of significance and a lot of weight to it. I'm expecting that if we do come to $72,000, that people will view that as a good buy zone for Bitcoin, and you might get a violent reaction when you go back up to higher prices after hitting $72,000. Okay. But yeah, I don't think we're out of the woods just yet for Bitcoin. I think we're getting a relief rally here and the beginnings of a bear flag. And just going back to that 1 hour time frame here, yeah, my bear flag says that we could come down to $70,500 on Bitcoin. But as more data and as time goes by, things can change and the targets could also change here. But I do see a bear flag forming. And looking at the 1 hour time frame, you know, if we do continue up for whatever reason, we could get a rejection. If we don't get rejected at $80,000, then we might get rejected at this $81,000 level here, which is where the 50 moving average is. This green line here could be another line of resistance. So yeah, shorting the market earlier today wasn't the move to make unless you were shorting last night. Possible short could be coming into play later on as we start going to higher prices. Once we get to 80, 81K, there might be some people who want to get out of the market and want to sell their Bitcoin and crypto after saying no mas to this this drop down, this crash that we've been having for like the last few weeks, few months now. Appreciate the new subscribers and the new followers here, guys. If you're new to the Meet Damien channel and you're liking the live stream analysis here, I suggest you hit that follow and subscribe button so that way you can see more of my live streams here in the future. I think there's not enough streamers on TikTok doing this, so I feel like my following is going to continue growing because no one really goes into a deep dive in the charts like this, like I do. As far as I can tell, I know there's some more people on YouTube that do this stuff, but seems like there's not that many people on TikTok doing this. I guess the YouTube guys don't have that big of a TikTok following, or vice versa, or something. But anyways, I'm glad to be able to help you guys out here on TikTok. So I appreciate the follows. And yeah, if you're new here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can continue seeing more videos like this show up on your YouTube feed. But yeah, I think I'm ready to take on some requests here, guys. If you guys have any requests, we can talk about something else besides Bitcoin. We can also talk about stocks if you have a particular stock you want me to talk about. Okay. But while I'm waiting for those requests to come in, we'll continue on talking about some of the cryptos here that are actually doing pretty well. Let's see who's actually doing pretty well. Sui. Wow, Sui is actually up 7% today. Okay. Let's see what's going on with Sui here. So Sui up 7% today at $2.05. Looking at the 1 hour chart time frame here. Okay, we had that bounce. Sui did get as low as $1.71. Sui's also creating a possible bear flag here on the 1 hour time frame. Let's see. Let's go into the 4 hour time frame here. Yeah. So Sui created that you know, almost like a V-shaped recovery. It's a very violent upswing up, if you're gonna call it a bear flag, but it can still be counted as a bear flag. Um, Looks like we are getting some resistance here at $2.09, which is where the 21 EMA is sitting at for the 4-hour time frame. I do like the fact that you can see that we did get less selling pressure, and we might start to get the beginnings of some green candles here on the MACD, which could then send the price higher. So SUI could possibly continue leading the way to higher prices here, and it might not actually get rejected until it gets to that 200 moving average. Okay, and the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame is showing that SUI could possibly get to $2.35 in the near term here. So be on the lookout for that. But if it does get up to that price and gets rejected, that could just be another lower high, because you have a lower high that was formed on the 4-hour time frame right over here. Okay, that's sitting at like $2.50, and then you also have another high here at like $2.80 here for SUI. So I wouldn't really completely be bullish on SUI if this is a turnaround and a V-shaped recovery. You want to wait until you get above at least this high over here before you can start being bullish on SUI. So once you get SUI at 235, maybe you can start becoming more bullish on SUI. But yeah, if you want to put your bets in now that you could do a short-term trade, you could buy SUI right now at $2.06, and then you might not get a rejection. You might be able to put your take profit at like 235, 239. I saw someone in here is talking about leverage trading. This week might not be a good week to leverage trade. Yeah, that could possibly be the case. Do not use leverage. Possibly stick to your spot. Just doing spot trading if you're going to be buying or selling your crypto here. But if you are going to use leverage, I would use light leverage, maybe like 3x or 5x leverage. 10x might be a little bit too much in this kind of market. We do have CPI, PPI data coming out, inflation data coming out later on this week. Let me just double check that real quick here. Let's see what day that's going to happen. That could create some volatility for us later on this week. Yeah, you got Thursday CPI data coming out at 8:30 in the morning on Thursday. Okay, that's going to probably create a lot of volatility in a market that's already volatile. And then you got PPI data coming out on Friday. So later on this week could be even more volatile. And yeah, later on this week, I mean, this whole week's going to be volatile because, Donald Trump is over here threatening to do more tariffs on Wednesday against China, because China increased their tariffs last week after Trump already increased tariffs. So this is like retaliatory tariffs on top of retaliatory tariffs. And it could just get worse. And that's why I can't really be overly bullish on the markets here, because it looks like there's still some more bad news coming up here. But yeah, look at this, guys. Bitcoin's currently at $80,100. Okay, so we are pushing this relief rally higher. Okay, 4-hour time frame. We're on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, and yeah, these red candles here on the MACD could turn to green candles. And if Bitcoin is going to continue on this relief rally, the 4-hour time frame is saying that Bitcoin could get back up to $84,000. I'm not sure why it would do that, unless China does back down on tariffs and maybe some other countries start coming to the table and working with Donald Trump here on the tariffs. But the 4-hour time frame says that there's not that much resistance for Bitcoin until you get up to like $82 or even $84,000, where the moving averages are sitting at. Okay, let's go back into the 1-hour time frame. You see here on the 1-hour time frame, right? We got the 21 EMA is now possibly could be curving back up, and then we could use that as a line of support as it goes up to higher levels here. But if we're going to continue on in this bear flag and just keep on extending it, then yeah, we might get rejected at the $81,600 level, which is where the 50 moving average is sitting at for for Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame here. All right. Let me see. Angie Garcia put a comment. You'll pay me to do, I believe you're saying TA for you, technical analysis. You wrote in the comment, I'll pay you to do TS for me. I mean, you could we could work out a deal somehow later. Maybe you could just do PayPal or whatever, but yeah, we could figure something out. Okay. But yeah, going on to this live stream here. I mean, eventually, once I get a bigger following on YouTube, I'll be able to do uh chat revenue. I'll be able to actually do super chats where I can respond to your questions and stuff like that. But I'm not sure what kind of technical analysis you want. I can look at a particular coin right now for you, or a particular stock, and give you my opinion on it as of now. And right now, that's free of charge, unless you guys want to tip me. But yeah, we're going back into crypto land here. Let's look at what's going on with Solana. Okay. Solana is also having a relatively decent day here, up 3%. Currently trading at 109 bucks right now. I'm not sure, guys. Is this just a dead cat bounce, a relief rally? We'll look at the 1 hour time frame on Solana, and Solana, right? It had a nasty night, like all these other cryptos, and this one is also creating a bear flag as well. Okay, possible bear flag. Okay, I'm just going to draw this out here real quick. That right there would be the flag. We're going to disregard that candle wick here, and we'll draw out the flag here. This is the flag pole. And if Solana continues being bearish, okay, this bear flag says that Solana could possibly go down to that blue number, $87.32. Now, I don't want to just stick to just one, particular analysis here. This is considered a pattern analysis. You want to see what else is going to agree with your number here. So if this is saying $87, is there anything else here that's saying that we could go down to $87 on Solana? I'm going to go ahead and pull up the VRVP and see what the VRVP says, okay? And I'm going to come out to the daily time frame to get some more data here. And as I start to zoom out, okay, you can see that we do have a value area low at like $89. This white line right here is saying that, yes, Solana could come down to 86, 87, maybe $89. Just like that bear flag was trying to tell us here that Solana could come down to that level. And then what else? I also have a Fibonacci analysis here that says that, the Fibonacci analysis would be this rainbow color looking chart here. I measured from 20 bucks all the way to the high that Solana made at 295 bucks. And it gives out this rainbow color looking chart here. And you got a number here that's pretty significant. And that's saying that the 0.236 level is sitting at $85.50. So the 0.236 retracement level says that Solana could come down to like 85 bucks. Bear flag says we can come down 85 bucks or 87 bucks. And then also, the VRVP with the value area low is saying that we could come down to about, 87 bucks as well. So there you go, guys. That's how I come out with these price targets. I need more than just one indicator to help me figure out where the price is going to go. But if Solana is going to continue being bearish, I see 85 bucks, anywhere between 85 to 90 bucks being the target zone for Solana, where you could probably scoop up some cheap Solana if you're bullish on Solana, or if you're bearish, you could probably start selling your whatever leverage trading you're doing. You'd probably start selling some of your shorts at 85 bucks. Actually, you would be buying back in if you're shorting. But yeah, you'd be buying back in at like 85 to 90 bucks if you're currently shorting Solana right now. Okay. Bullish case with Solana is that we actually start climbing up higher on Solana. If Solana does go up to higher prices here, you got a point of control here that's saying that Solana should magnetically be attracted to going back to this blue line at about 125 bucks. $125 Solana could possibly be coming up on deck if Solana can get become bullish again. And look at this, right? Not only is the point of control is saying that $125 Solana could be the next bullish target for Solana, but you got the 21 EMA, which is this white line just coming on down, and that is also sitting at about $126. So I think short-term profit taking wise, you should try to sell your Solana at $126 if you're a short-term trader. Okay? If maybe you're not short-term trader, maybe you are a long-term trader, you've been in Solana for a while here, and you're looking to get out while prices are still high. $126 might be a nice area for you to start selling your Solana. Okay? Because other professional traders around the world are looking at these levels, looking at the point of control, looking at the 21 EMA, and you got these indicators that are agreeing with each other. So if you're just a VRVP guy, you're looking at the point of control and you're saying, oh, I'm going to sell Solana 126. If you're just a moving average kind of trader, you're looking at the 21 EMA and you're saying, oh, $126 is where I'm going to sell my Solana at. So if both of these traders are going to sell their Solana at 126 bucks, then you probably should do the same. But the thing is that I use the VRVP and I also use the moving averages, and that's how I come up with these numbers as to like what my short-term take profit target is going to be on Solana. All right, let me see if I got any comments here on my my YouTube stream. I got Lisa in there. Okay. Hey, Lisa. Good to see you're in the stream here. Let me go see if I have any requests here. If not, we'll just keep it moving on. We'll look at some of the high market crypto coins. Probably take a look at the Ripple, XRP. I made a video saying that XRP could possibly come down to 58 cents as a doomsday target. Not saying that it's going to happen anytime soon. Okay, but I'm saying that there is some pressure on XRP because of the head and shoulder pattern here. And the head and shoulder pattern, you know what it is. You know, I did a video here saying that you have the left shoulder here, you got the head, right shoulder. Think of it like an actual person here. You got left shoulder, then a head, then a right shoulder. And head and shoulder pattern is bearish, and it usually breaks down to the downside. And I had the target, right? The measured move is saying that if we break down like we were doing, that you could possibly see XRP come down to like 60 cents. Okay, and it looks like XRP started doing some of that price action right here. Okay, let me go ahead and get rid of this now. Looks like XRP came down to about $1.60, giving people a good scare. XRP is under pressure, right? But that's a huge wick that just got bought up. So buyers came in, the XRP army, all those people that said, yeah, I'm going to buy XRP and Ripple if it does go below. That means I get to buy more at lower prices. Well, they came in today. That XRP army, they bought it up and they sent the XRP back up above this red line here, the 200 moving average. 200 moving average, this red line is currently at $1.84. Looks like if you guys keep pushing the price up on XRP, you're going to get a close above the 200-day moving average, which means that you can still be cautiously optimistic on XRP. XRP is one of the stronger high market cryptocurrencies out there. I will give it that, because it's actually above the 200-day moving average, whereas like Ethereum is below it, Solana is below its 200 moving average. Bitcoin is also below its 200 moving average. So XRP, being a high market, multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency, it's actually doing pretty well out of all the high market cryptocurrencies, but it's under pressure just like the rest of them here. Okay, now if XRP was to continue being bearish here, I don't even have to turn the VRVP, but I know like right here we got some sideways trading action here at this level. and that level is currently at $1.43, $1.50. So XRP could come down to that level, right? It could come down to that $1.50, $1.40 level here, where you had some sideways trading action going back into November of 2024. And that's where I would probably put my next bearish target on XRP. Now I can probably look at the 3-day, see if the 3-day moving average has any support here. You got this green moving average here on the 3-day saying that XRP could get some support at $1.42. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to $1.42, $1.43 as the next bearish target if XRP continues being bearish. If Ripple continues being bearish, you could see $1.40 coming up on deck. Let me go ahead and get the music back on here, guys. All right. All right, got the music playing again. So yeah, that's my analysis on XRP. We're cautiously optimistic as long as XRP is above the 200 moving average, which is currently sitting at $1.84. If not, if we lose that 200 moving average, I see us coming down to $1.40. And you can be bullish again on XRP if you get above this 50 moving average, which is currently sitting at $2.50. Other than that, I mean, you're going to be probably bouncing around between $1.90 and $2.50, $2.40 in the near term here on Ripple. Okay, until we finally get some more direction as to where we're going. All right, let's see. Moving on to some other cryptos here. Which one do I want to talk about? We'll take a look at the Cardano ADA. Jordan, you took a loss today. I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of people in the markets took a loss today. Unless you were shorting the markets, you weren't making money. But it seems like a lot of these cryptos are bouncing back up. So I'm starting to have a hard time believing that there's losses out there because we are getting a relief rally right now. But let's look at the Cardano. Okay, Cardano. And you know, I don't know what kind of asset you're in that gave you a loss today, Jordan. But you know, looks like crypto is starting to do a bounce back up right now. So if you're in crypto, looks like you're doing all right. But I don't know what crypto you're in either, so it could actually be bad for you. All right, looking at Cardano. Cardano is currently trading at 59 cents. And Warrior Spirit over here is saying Cardano could be $7.50 in 12 months from now, about a year from now. I mean, maybe. Right now, I'm bearish on Cardano because Cardano is below the 200 moving average. This red line at like 73 cents is where Cardano needs to be if you're gonna consider being bullish again. Okay. 73 cents also happens to be where that 0.382 retracement level is sitting at. But if we continue being bearish on Cardano, I could see us coming down to like 57 cents here, which I think we already did. We did that earlier today. Yeah, we came down even lower than that. We came down to like 51 cents on Cardano. But if Cardano continues being even more bearish, I think I talked about this on my last live stream here yesterday. But if I turn on the VRVP, I think we had like 35 cents as the target level for Cardano. And yeah, if I turn on the VRVP, which is these green and red bars here, you can see at the point of control, this blue line is currently at 35 cents. So that's my ultimate bearish short-term target on Cardano if the Cardano is going to continue being bearish. But if Cardano can be bullish again, then I want to see 73 cents be reclaimed. And then I want to see Cardano climb up to the value area high, this white line, at about 95 cents. Once Cardano gets up to that level of 95 cents, then I can say that we can be back to being bullish on Cardano. Now, let me just turn the VRVP off. You said $7.50 as a target for Cardano, and in about a year from now. If I just stick to the Fibonacci analysis here on Cardano, You got a 1618 saying that you could get up to $1.94, and that's a very generous target because you'll be basically almost 4xing your money here on Cardano if that happens. But then you got a 2618 that says $2.94, and even the 4.236 level saying $4.54. I do not see a $7 Cardano in the next 12 months here. I think that's overly bullish. I could see like maybe $2 or $3 for Cardano, but not a 750. You would need some really bullish news to help push you. A lot of bullish catalysts to help push you to that point there. But I like where your head's at. Sounds like you're very optimistic. These would be some good prices to be buying if you actually think it's going to go to $7 though. 59 cents seems to be a good deal for Cardano. In my opinion. Not financial advice. Alright. Moving on from Cardano. Let's take a look at US dollar tether dominance. I haven't looked at that. We didn't look at that yesterday, but I want to look at that today. So you want this chart to actually go down if you're going to be bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. Okay. US dollar tether dominance is currently at 5.77%, and it's getting near the highs that it made back in like September of last year. Okay. Not nearly as high as where it was back in September of 2023, where we saw like 8% US dollar tether dominance. But this is concerning, okay, going up to higher numbers. This means that people are leaving the market. Nobody wants to be in crypto right now. And I'll show you. Do you guys remember when everybody wanted to be in crypto back in November and December of last year? That's where tether dominance here was at like 3.8%, under 4%. Now people are scared and tether dominance is at like almost 6%. So this is almost the same level as where people were at back in September of last year. So could this actually be us getting close to bottoming out in the cryptocurrency market here? I believe so. But this thing could continue going higher. There's no guarantees that it won't go higher or that it can go higher, but I want to see this thing come right back down. Because when you see tether dominance coming down, that means more money is going into cryptocurrency and out of tether, and you can start being bullish on your cryptos again. Maybe when we get back to like 4 or 5, under 4% again on tether dominance, that's probably a good time to start selling your crypto. Okay, so keep that in mind if you're looking for an indicator to help you decide when you should get out of your crypto. Look at your USDT dominance. Okay. Right there, the market cap dominance. You want to look at USDT, you type in USDT.D, okay, and that will give you this chart here for tether dominance. And when the dominance is low, that's a good time to be selling crypto. When the dominance is high, like it is kind of like right now, that's a good time to be buying crypto. That's how I view it. That's how I trade these charts. So if you bought crypto, I can't really blame you. If you sold crypto, I can't really blame you either. But if you bought, you might have been catching some good prices if we're going to continue on in this bull market, in the bull run for crypto. Yeah, King Louie, anything above all-time highs is price discovery opinions. Yeah. Once you get into price discovery, I use like I use Fibonacci extension levels to help me figure out where things could top out at. I look at like bearish divergence on the RSI to kind of figure out if there's if we're topping out. And then I also use a little bit of chart patterns. Like I'll do bull flags, see how far the flagpole, the measured move goes, And that also gives me ideas like where we might top out when we're in price discovery mode. It's a different kind of trading when you're in price discovery mode. Oh yeah, thank you for the kind comment there, King Louis. Yeah. King Louis, if you got a particular cryptocurrency you want me to look at, go ahead and or stock. You can look at any stock or crypto I'm gonna take a look at here. Let's go into stock market world here real quick here. What was it? The Nasdaq? Nasdaq actually had a green day today. I'm a little bit curious why that's the case, okay? Wow, look at this as I start zooming in on the charts here. So we closed on Friday, last Friday, at $15,587. And then the Nasdaq was able to close today at $15,600. But we came down as low as 14,700. Jesus. And then we came as high as like 16,200. Only to finish the day at like 15,600. It's up about 0.1%. Nasdaq is below its 200 moving average, 200-day moving average. I consider that bearish territory. I think the official definition for a bear market is you got to be about 20% below the most significant recent high, and that's right over here. And if we take this down, oh yeah, Nasdaq is definitely in bear market territory. Nasdaq is currently down 26% from the highs that it made back in February. So you're definitely in a bear market on the Nasdaq. Now, could the Nasdaq get some support? And where is that support at? If I turn on the VRVP, kind of gives us an idea of where the support might be. Okay, I got high volume nodes here, currently sitting at 16,100, which is above us right now. Then I got like another high volume node here at 14,700. That explains why the Nasdaq got a bounce at 14,700, is because you had a VRVP high volume node level at 14,700. Okay, so these indicators aren't for nothing here. If Nasdaq continues going lower though, we might see it go down to this point of control at 13,600. So those of you who are invested in technology stocks and the Nasdaq, you know, you might be able to get some cheaper deals here. You know, like I said, 13,600. You got a high volume node right there. All right, so that might be, you might want to start drawing lines on your chart. Maybe put like a horizontal line so you don't forget. And I'm gonna put that right here, 13,1600. I'm gonna make that a red line. Yeah, I want a horizontal line. I put the wrong one in. I want the horizontal line, not the ray. There we go, 13,600. So yeah, let's see, 13,600. I'm gonna put that as a line for me to remember that if we continue going lower on the Nasdaq, we might actually come down to that red line there, and then we might stop, because that's where the bleeding might stop, because the VRVP is saying that you got a lot of volume. A lot of people bought and sold at that 13,600 level on the Nasdaq. Do I read the comments? I try my best to read the comments here. Did I miss one of your comments here? For a while there, I was asking for requests, and I didn't have any requests come in. But let me go ahead and read some of these comments right now. All right, King Louis saying he hates Fibonacci. I would look into doing some more reading up on Fibonacci and learning some more about the golden pockets and the deep retracement levels. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and you can just use another indicator. Do I like Ondo? I can look at Ondo. I can't really say if I like it or not. But after I look at it, I can tell you if I would be a buyer or a seller of it. Trump saying charts don't mean well, if charts don't mean anything to you, then why are you on this live stream? Go away. We look at the charts over here. Angie said, "Do I read comments?" And that's it. Yeah, so we'll take a look at Ondo. Let's go ahead and look at the Ondo. ONDO. So it looks like I was looking at Ondo previously. Let me just go back to a naked chart here. And you can see that Ondo was in a descending triangle for like the longest time, going back to December. We bounced back and forth in this descending triangle. And descending triangles, they usually break down to the downside, and look what happened. Yeah, you broke down out of that descending triangle. Okay. So I guess you could try to redraw the lines and it might look something more like this. Now you're kind of like in a falling wedge now on Ondo. And falling wedges are actually bullish, okay? They usually break out to the upside. And if this is a falling wedge on Ondo, then the bull's target, you just measure from the top of the wedge to the bottom over here, the base. You take that measured move, you put it to like where you could break out right now. And right now Ondo is at 76 cents. I forgot to mention that. But Ondo is currently at 76 cents. And if you're going to be bullish and you break out of this falling wedge, then you could come out to that $1.88 number here. That blue number could be your ultimate take profit on Ondo. And that's like a double from where you are right now. You could be doubling your money on Ondo. So I'm liking a little bit of what I'm seeing here with Ondo, if that kind of answers your question. Let's see how much further down Ondo could possibly go. Let's look at the bearish case here. If I took out the VRVP here real quick, you get those green and red bars there. Looks like we're coming down to the value area low, this white line, at about 65 cents. You might be able to scoop up some cheap Ondo at 65 cents. It looked like Ondo actually possibly came down to that level today. Yeah, you got as low as like 66 cents on Ondo. So someone put in their buy orders and they got filled at the value area low. So kudos to them. That was a good area to be buying Ondo at. But yeah, if Ondo comes back to 65 cents, I would be a buyer of it. And then I would probably put the stop loss on Ondo right below that, actually, at like 53 cents. Because if you lose 53 cents on Ondo, then you could come down possibly, well, ultimately you could probably come down to like 23 cents here. You got the high volume node here, at like 23 cents. So yeah, I probably put the stop loss at 53 cents if I'm trying to keep my losses small here on Ondo. King Louis just sent the comment. In this market, it's good to be confident. Like Damien has his own strategy, as should you. Yeah, thank you, King. You gotta have a strategy. You know, whenever you get into a trade, like if you told me I had to buy Ondo, if you said, Damien, I wanna buy Ondo, can you get me in at a good price? Right now, I think these are good prices on Ondo. Okay. Let me just get rid of the VRVP. I would be buying Ondo anywhere between 65 and 76 cents, where it's at right now. I would put the stop loss right below these candle wicks here. Okay, you got a lot of support at like 56 cents, so I'd probably put the stop loss at like 51 or 53 cents. And then I would just game plan to be taking profit as we go up to higher prices here. First take profit will probably be at this level at $1.23, $1.24. Then I'd probably take some more at this resistance level at $1.50. And then I'd be ultimate take profit level at $1.88 on Ondo. $1.88. Okay. But yeah, you can measure out, you know, how much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to lose. Okay. Let's see. I got to pull up my long position here. So this is how I measure things out here. Okay, you got your long position. If you're gonna buy Ondo at 76 cents here right now, you got your take profit ultimately at $1.88. Okay, you got your stop loss. Put your stop loss at like what would I say, 53 cents? Yeah, around 53 cents. Okay, so now you can measure things out here. So right now that stop loss is actually a 30% stop loss. But your take profit is at $1.88 and you got 150% gain possibly here on Ondo. Your risk reward ratio is 4.76. Anything above 3 is usually a good trade. Okay? You want to be making your profit should be about 3 times as much as your possible loss. And I did that by just clicking this button right here. Okay, you got your long position. You can do it for shorts too if you're gonna plan on doing a short. You click on that button, but this is a long position, and we're long in Ondo, and I would just buy it at 76 cents, but I would try to buy some more at 65 cents if I could, if it goes down to that level. Nick, you asked me how do I know where to start the base? So you start the base wherever the base is going to be wherever you basically are buying the asset at. So I just started the base here at like 76 cents here. For this asset Ondo, and I put the stop loss. I said the stop loss would be about 53 cents. That's a pretty steep stop loss. Most stock market guys wouldn't be doing a 30% stop loss, but in cryptocurrency world and altcoin world, 30% is just a Tuesday. To be honest, it's just another Tuesday or a Monday. That's a generous stop loss that you most likely won't get hit, but if you do, yeah, it's gonna hurt because you're gonna lose 30%. But you're risking 30% to try and get 150%, and that still gives you a risk reward ratio of about 4.7. All right, so that was Ondo there. Let's see some other cryptocurrencies. Take a look at a good old Dogecoin. Why not? Let's see what's going on in the Dogecoin world. Dogecoin is currently trading at just under 15 cents. All right, and Dogecoin has been beaten down pretty badly here. I think I did some previous analysis here that showed that Dogecoin was getting some bullish divergence showing up on the charts. Bullish divergence kind of helps you figure out if buyers are stepping in, and buyers have been stepping in. You can see that with the RSI is getting higher lows here. This red line here, higher lows. So with that being said, you yourself could be comfortable buying Dogecoin at 14 cents, because why not? I mean, Dogecoin was as high as 40 cents like 3 or 4 months ago. If I turn on the VRVP, the green and red bars are saying that the blue point of control line is currently at 10 cents. So we could go a little bit lower on Dogecoin. So even though you might be scooping up Dogecoin at like 14-15 cents, this thing could possibly go down to 10 cents before we actually get a bottom to form on Dogecoin here. Then you got a value area low that's slightly below that at like 8 cents. So game planning this out, I mean, you could buy a little bit of Dogecoin right now. Just know that you might see Dogecoin go a little bit lower, down towards 10 cents. And then I would probably buy some more Dogecoin at 10 cents, 11 cents. And then even know that it could even peek its head below to like 9 or 8 cents. This value area low, that white line, is where Dogecoin should get a violent reaction back up. Now, when I say violent reaction, I mean you might only get 1 hour out of the day. It might be one day and 1 hour. You might even be asleep, so you might even have to put this in as a limit order so it can do it for you while you're sleeping. But you might be able to get some Dogecoin at 8 cents. Okay, before this thing violently bounces back up to higher prices here. Let me get rid of this previous chart work here. I gotta clean up the charts. This is old stuff from like almost like a year ago when I was looking at Dogecoin. Yeah, I'll even get rid of this line too. Yeah, but I think you can buy a little bit of Dogecoin right now at 14 cents, but you might be able to get some cheaper deals in the next few days and few weeks here. And I would be trying to scoop up some more Dogecoin at 10 cents. Anything below 10 cents is a pretty good deal on Dogecoin, considering where Dogecoin has been and where it could go. All right. Okay. BK is saying this administration is destroying the stock market. Yeah, you know, I kind of almost feel the same way. It's like they don't give a damn about the stock market. They really want to bring jobs back to America and bring factories to America. And you know, I don't even know if they even are concerned about bringing jobs to America, because if you listen to like what Commerce Secretary Ludwig has been saying, they're talking about bringing factories into America, but they know that these factories are probably, if they do get built in America, that they're going to have robots and automation. And I mean, that doesn't really bring jobs back to America. I think their main concern is they want to bring factories back to America, but some of it will be jobs, but they want to bring factories to America because I think they're worried about China, and if they go to war with China, that, or any country for that matter, that they're not going to have the manufacturing capacity to build, you know, the planes and everything else that they need to build to fight, you know, a conflict in the future. So, but they do say that they want to bring, you know, by building these factories, it's going to cause, I mean, someone has to actually build the factory. It's not going to be a robot that's building the factory. So there will be construction jobs. You need to maintain these factories with certain temperature conditions. So there's going to be HVAC guys, electrical guys, you know, and then the factories, you know, once they build the products here in America, they do have to get transported to wherever they need to go. So there'll be some transportation jobs. You know, it does have its collateral effects that will increase jobs. It should have a positive effect, but yeah, it does seem like they don't care about the markets in the meantime. And I think it's because most of the working class, the middle class, has voted for the Trump administration, and they're not rich people. So Donald Trump doesn't have to cater towards the rich people right now. The rich people already voted for Donald Trump, and they'll get their money back in the form of taxes, because they're still going to do tax cuts. So that will keep some of the rich people happy that voted for him. But you know, a lot of the swing voters and moderates, they voted for the Trump administration to bring jobs back to America, and this is part of bringing jobs back to America is tariffs. At least that's what they have in their agenda, to bring back these jobs. Yeah, these factories will be built by the rich, and they will be worked by AI and computers and robots. But hey, someone's got to make the robots too, right? And someone's got to maintain the robots, I'm assuming, so there'll be jobs for that as well. Yeah, King Louis, I saw that oil did drop down to like $58 a barrel. That's good for everybody. Maybe not good for the oil drillers, but it's good for everybody else. But it could be concerning if oil continues dropping. Then there's probably a reason why it's dropping. It means that we're probably going into a recession, and that's not so good. So we want it to come down, but not come down too hard. Because if it comes down too hard, then it means that things are actually worse than what we are willing to go through right now. Well, I think oil is just not going to be a good place to be at, because the Trump administration does want to lower prices. That's one reason why they came into power, was to lower inflation. So if Trump tariffs are causing oil prices to go down, then guess what, guys? They're probably going to keep those tariffs. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. It justifies what they're doing, because they're actually lowering oil prices right now. Let me go into my YouTube streamer and see what they're saying. Okay. All right. So we just finished off on Dogecoin. Let's see what else we can look at. Let's take a look at Coinbase stock. You would think that with all this volatility in the markets that Coinbase stock would actually be going up, and it looks like it was down. Yeah, down today, about 2% at $157. But look at the aftermarket hours here. Coinbase stock is at $162, up $5, up 3% tonight. And I'm wondering if there's a good bit of news going on in the markets, because we are getting a pretty good bounce back right now. Does anybody else know if like any country has said that they're going to lower their tariffs and try to come to the negotiating table with Donald Trump here? Please tell me in the comments if you know any bit of new news here. But we can look at the charts here. The charts do tell us what the news is going to be. So we don't really need to look at the news, but I'm a little bit curious, because the charts are saying that good things are coming, that the relief rally is here. But anyways, going back into Coinbase here, Coinbase stock had its highs back in like November of last year, and that was it. Okay. VRVP is showing that we have the value area high currently sitting at $220. So maybe if Coinbase could get its act together again, I would be short-term profit taken at $220 if I was buying Coinbase right now. Coinbase could come down to lower levels here, and if it does, you have like $142 at VRVP level. Could possibly be where Coinbase decides to settle at. That $140 level is a level that we saw back here in January of 2024 when Coinbase was at $130, $140. So if you're going to continue being bearish, if Coinbase continues going lower, I would expect strong support at $140 here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and turn the moving averages. See what the moving average is saying. Yeah, Coinbase is below all the moving averages. All the moving averages are currently above Coinbase. So Coinbase is currently in its own bear market right now. This 21 EMA is acting like a rejection. Every time we get up to the 21 EMA, it rejects us. Let me get rid of that VRVP. Every time we come up to the white line here, the 21 EMA, we get rejected off of it. I wouldn't really consider ourselves to be in a bull market until we get above the 21 EMA, stay above it, and start using it as support rather than being rejected. Because look, this is how you know you're in a bull market on Coinbase stock here, okay? Look at the 21 EMA, right? When you start using the 21 EMA as a line of support, you go above it, come back, bounce off of it again, go to higher prices. That's how you know you're in a bull market, okay? Once you start using the 21 EMA as resistance, you go up to it, you get rejected, come up to it, kind of stay on it a little bit, and then you fall off again. That's how you know you're in a bear market on whatever asset you're looking at. Okay, 21 EMA, pretty important line to have on your charts. Once you start getting above it, you can start being more bullish on that asset. HD Mike asking me if Pepe is a good buy. We take a look at the charts, and I give you my opinion if I think it's a good time to buy it. Let's take a look at Pepe. All right, Pepe currently at 642, up about 1.42% today. You know what? I don't think I like this chart because there's not that much data on it. Let me use a different exchange here. Pepe, USD. I'll try it on Bitstamp. Should be more data. Yeah, we got more data here. Okay. Actually, I got some previous chart work here too. So I'm just getting rid of the 21 EMA. Get rid of the EMAs here. And just looking at Pepe with a naked chart here, you can see that we were in a bear flag here. This was the flag. This was the measured pole here. I have a expected bearish move that could take us down to 380 on Pepe if we continue being bearish in the market here. No guarantees that we'll go to that level, but if I see a level that the bear flag is telling me that we could go down to, I like to confirm that with the VRVP, see the VRVP agrees with that. And we don't have really that much data on that. I have to go zoom out a little bit more here. Yeah. Looks like we have high volume node here at 300, so Pepe could even go further down to like 300 if we're going to continue being bearish on Pepe. But let's see. I'll turn on the moving averages now, see if there's any support. Yeah, Pepe's below all the moving averages for support here. Let me get rid of this now. And yeah, can we be bullish on Pepe? Do I like it here? If Pepe can just create a higher low here, so if this, right, we got one low here, another low here. If Pepe could just create a higher low and start working off of creating a trend line for support here to higher prices, then I would probably be more bullish on Pepe. Also looks like this could possibly be a double bottom, right? So we got a bottom here at what? We came as low as like 570 today on Pepe. And then you have like a candle wick open at like 630. So what I'm trying to game plan here for you is, if this is a double bottom on Pepe, you measure from the bottoms to the top and between the two bottoms here, and then you take this measured move and you put it on top of the top, and it says that Pepe could come up to 1196, that blue number right there. That kind of makes sense because you have the 50 moving average. This green line is acting as resistance, and that could come at like 1100 level. So yeah, you could be buying Pepe right now, and you could basically almost double your money if this double top plays out. Just using the double. I'm sorry, not double top. If the double bottom plays out, you could see Pepe come right up to like the 50 moving average, or even the 200 moving average at 1308 here, and you could double your money on Pepe. So I would be cautiously optimistic on Pepe. You might be able to buy Pepe at lower prices from where you are right now, but you could start buying just a little bit, you know, take a nibble on Pepe. It is a meme coin, so just keep that in mind, that with meme coins, you can lose about half your money or 90% of your money, depending upon where you buy in on these coins. But I would say, yeah, Pepe is a good buy, not a great buy. You could possibly buy it lower, and then that would be a great buy. Okay, hope that answers your question there. All right. Let's see, I've been going live for about almost an hour now. think we covered a good amount of topics here. I think I'm about to call it a night here, guys, unless I got another request here. Let me see, YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be it for me. I appreciate you guys coming into the live stream. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that follow or subscribe so you can see more live streams like this in the future. Take care, guys. And whatever asset or investment you decide to get into, I wish you the best of luck in your trading endeavors. Take care, guys.